What is up, team? Chuck with Traders War Room, and I'm back at you with another video. This is your Sunday Motivator, and I got a great video for you. But what I need you to do right now is hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and I need you to come along with us on a journey. Check the description tab. All the tools and tidbits and every product and service Trader War Room has to offer right there at your fingertips. Now, if that sounds good, you're ready to rock it with us, then all I got to say to you is follow me, and let's go to war. All right, let's get into it. Legal disclaimer, this is not financial advice. The content is for entertainment and education purposes only. You're responsible for every decision you make. We want you to have fun, use caution, and always go to war. New features, promotions, and events at the end of the video, guys, so stay tuned after the main bulk. And if you want to find out what Traders War Room has got in store, stick with us, and we got you covered. Don't forget to check the description tab, as it has the links to the good stuff right there at your fingertips. With that said, we hope you invest in yourself in 2022. We hope you bring Traders War Room along for the ride, and let's get into the video right now. The Buzz Report, what's hot and what's not in the stock market. Here's how your markets closed Friday. It was a bloody mess, and we're definitely paying attention to the SPY because that thing just tanked at the closing of the market bell. Picture representation of the market space. Guys, it is hard for a bull to make some money here. Now, there'll be intertwining jumps and dumps where we get opportunities to make some money on some longs, but right now you guys need to be ready to play the short side, and if you don't know how to do that, you need to spin yourself up on it real quick, because that's where the money is going to be made at if we continue on this downward trend. ETFs, only ones making money on Friday were the inverse ETFs, so we're definitely paying attention to those. You know, something like the SQQQ and the VIX are very popular, not too expensive to get into, and definitely can be a great hedging for when we have some downward pressure. Industry performance, you saw consumer discretionary and real estate take the biggest dumps, and materials and energy had the biggest jumps. However, everything was completely red, so we're definitely looking for a little bit of reversal in some of the money, specifically energy and materials. We'd like to see those push up a little bit and kind of get a little bit more of a bounce back in consumer discretionary and technology. Here's your total premiums, calls versus puts. Guys, I've been telling you for a minute, you gotta follow the smart money, and the smart money is definitely going to the put side, so we have to be ready to go short on stocks, and we just need to be prepared to make sure that we're going the right direction with the sentiment and following the big money. Here's your futures. Now remember, futures are just a glimpse into what could be, not what will be. We do not use this as gospel. The idea is to get a plan in motion and have a strategy for when that bell rings and try to follow the trend of where the big money is flowing. Here's your top trending tickers, and we'll cover a couple of these stock charts here in a moment. Penny market is heating up. Now, guys, when blue chip stocks typically are volatile and unstable, and a lot of people have low sentiment for going long in expensive stocks, the penny market starts kicking into action. Okay, these are cheaper stocks. You can go in, pick up 100 or 1,000 for relatively cheap, and these things move 5 cents, 10 cents, and you're making some money. So do not count the penny stocks out. This is a necessary tool in your arsenal so that you can always be attacking. All right, so top news, oil falls on China growth concerns even as EU weighs Russia import ban. So oil prices fell on Monday in a holiday sapped trade in Asia as concerns about slowing economic growth in China, the world's top oil importer, outweighed fears of potential supply disruptions from a looming European Union ban on Russian crude. So what does that mean, guys? We're paying attention to oil and gas refinery and marketing. Okay, so got to put those on your watch list because we can make money going both directions depending on how the news impacts the U.S. stock markets on these particular tickers. Next story, Japan's April factory activity expands at a slower rate. So Japanese manufacturing activity grew at a slower pace from previous months in April as supply chain disruptions and strict Chinese coronavirus lockdown measures hurt overseas demand. So what does that tell me? Well, that tells me we need to be paying attention to our manufacturers here over in the United States, specifically the ones that have partnerships with Japan and Japanese type of interests that are over there in Asia that aren't part of China. So we'll pay attention to those and ensure that we make sure we follow the direction of the sentiment so we can make money on it during any type of market volatility. And finally, Amazon to get hearing that could overturn New York union vote, Labor Board official says. So Amazon incorporated objections to landmark union election at a company warehouse in New York City justify a hearing that could overturn the results from a U.S. National Labor Resolutions Board official said. What does that mean? Well, not sure on how this news will play into Amazon, as Amazon's already kind of been taking a hit, so it could already be put into the market. So we definitely could see maybe a little bit of downward pressure. However, getting some of this news, since we might already be pricing it in, we could see a bounce potentially until a decision is made. So I'm expecting some sharp decreases and sharp jumps and kind of maybe doing a little bit of consolidation in Amazon at this time. All right, now enough talk about the news. Let's get into some stock charts, guys. What are we watching and what kind of earnings do we got? So first up, we got a huge earnings week, and the ones highlighted green are the ones that have my attention. However, with so many to pick and choose from, I'm really going to just follow the market and see what the sentiment is at and probably pick the ones that have the most implied dramatic movements to make the most bang for my buck. So definitely got my eye on a few of these, and hopefully we can catch the direction they're going, get the sentiment, and make some money on both ways, the put side and the call side, depending on how the flow is going. All right, so let's start off with the ETFs. First, we're talking about SPY. And guys, SPY is low, okay? Now, what could very well happen is that we hit this shelf at the bottom and we hit a dramatic bounce going to the upside. You know, investors think enough is enough. However, being the sentiment low, I'm expecting that we go down, testing at least the bottom levels, have a dramatic push to the upside, and probably fail to hold support at the resistance point, and then we get rejected and come back down. So definitely we have to be watching SPY. And as you know, if SPY is rocking towards the downside, or big mega caps that are going along with it, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Nvidia, Tesla, things of that nature, will be definitely downtrending as well. So trying to catch the sentiment and ride the flow on whatever which way it goes. Now, we talked about in the top news the thing about the energy and the oil sector. XOP is on my mind, okay? Now, definitely, normally this pattern here from a sharp decline and kind of wedging its way up, I like this for continuation. However, given the sentiment with this oil, I'm expecting probably a little bit of a bearish stance heading down, probably testing, the 130s, maybe even going back down to test the 125s, seeing what we have as far as support down there. And coin, guys, coin and Bitcoin and, crypto, just for, to be honest, has been on a downward trend. Okay, so we're definitely getting interested in coin, especially at these levels. I like this level for share accumulation down here. I also think that this would be a good opportunity to possibly get into some long leap type of contracts, whatever you can afford, looking out towards a month at least. I prefer a little 6 month to possibly a year type of leap on coin. However, I definitely like this price down here for share accumulation. All right, now let's get into some of the mega cap stocks, guys. Apple at this level. Always bullish on Apple. I think that Apple will continue to go upside, but we're starting to see quite a bit of volatility in its daily trading. And the way it closed just kind of gave me a little unearthy feeling. So I think that this comes down a little bit, and then we start to hit that shelf down there at, about 157, 158, and then we probably find that support and we start coming to the upside rather sharply and rather strong. So I am bull on this one. I think that if you want to go long in Apple, it's always a good time to go long in Apple. You can always dollar cost average, and in the long run, you're going to make your money. However, if we're looking at contracts for options, I would like you guys to probably go out at least a week or two and give yourself some time. Just having a weekly expiration, I don't think gives you enough time to wade through some serious volatility going the opposite direction of your contract. Tesla, we talked about this one earlier, and we kind of got a trigger point level for Tesla. We're looking at things at 925 and above for calls, and we're also looking at things at 870 and below for puts. So we're kind of in a little waiting area. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see some consolidation since we've had such dramatic dumps in the past week with Tesla. So we're looking at those areas for some trigger points to give us some directional cues. Microsoft, kind of similar to Apple, except Microsoft doesn't like to move as sharply from going down into the support range. However, I do think that we're at a pretty decent level. I would kind of put, if I was going to do some trigger points here, I would say look towards about 280, closing below that, maybe on a 5-minute or 10-minute chart. You probably can start thinking that we're going to start tracking back down towards the 270. And if we can close and hold, 285, 286, close above, using a 15-minute candlestick chart, I think that's a good indication that we're probably got a nice little reverse and we can start going long. And Netflix, I think we're about getting close to the bottom, guys. This is where investors are starting to think about going back in and investing long on Netflix. I do think that, we possibly have a little bit further to go and we're kind of in a consolidation mode. However, I do see that the end and the bottom is near, and we should be starting to think that this will reverse. And when it does reverse, I got a feeling we're probably going to have a pretty significant reverse, kind of like what Facebook did when it was ready to reverse. It took off like a freight train, so we got to be ready for it. Now let's talk about some of the earning stocks that we got coming up. One of the ones that I'm interested in is Pfizer. I do like this level here for continuation. I think this is a great time to go long on Pfizer. I think they're going to do fairly well on earnings, and I think they're probably going to pop up significantly from current levels. Another one that I like is Estee Lauder. Now, I like Estee Lauder more for a spread type of trade because of this consolidation period that it's had for a while within certain ranges. However, I do think that they do fairly well. I'm seeing a lot of bullish sentiment towards Estee Lauder, and I think they pop up pretty decent. I wouldn't be surprised if Estee Lauder was able to push over 275 on its way to 280. So definitely keep your eye on Estee Lauder. Now, one of my preferred trades on the semiconductor sector is ON. I do like ON where it's at. We went down to the bottom level. It got rejected and got pushed up. I like ON for continuation to the upside going through earnings. I do think that if you're looking for this particular trade, some volatility will happen come the bell. So you want to definitely push your contracts out at least 2 to 3 weeks. But at this particular level here, this is also a great area for share accumulation, in my opinion. AMD, of course, we're expecting some fireworks from AMD. I do think we hit the bottom on AMD. I think it's too popular of a stock and people want to keep this thing at a certain level. So I do think AMD pumps up going into earnings, probably pushes pretty hard going into earnings, cools down through earnings, and then once people have an idea of what the earnings are, we'll start to see that money flow back into it. Definitely be careful of IV crush, especially if you're going weeklies and you're waiting to play this through earnings. Doing lottos is okay, but if you're holding something significant at the money or in the money, IV Crush will probably make it so that you're not making as much money as you think once the earnings are posted. So keep that cognizant in your mind. Playing this up to earnings, great idea. Risky through earnings, but then playing this after earnings, going out 2 or 3 weeks, definitely plausible for a plan. And last one I'm going to talk about today is Square. They got earnings coming up. I like this for continuation to the upside. FinTech has really been getting a lot of publicity on CNBC and a lot of other news. You know, Square, PayPal, this fintech revolution. You're starting to see more and more companies go to digitized money. Cash won't go anywhere, but there's a lot more companies that are going strictly with the payments for the digitized, and they're being incentivized for going digital as well, because it costs a lot of money to transport cash, it costs a lot of money to store cash, it costs a lot of money to make cash. The digital style of financing is actually being shown to have significant cost deductions at a larger corporation level. So pay attention for Square to make some definite moves going into their earnings. All right, guys, that's the bulk of the video. What I'm going to talk about now is some new features, promotions, and events that we got going on with Traders War Room that can make you some money and hopefully also grow that knowledge of the stock market. We got some classes in the works, so keep your eye out for them. They're coming to you in May. The first class we're going to do is supply and demand zones. The second one, we're going to teach you guys how to trade futures. And we got another class on trading divergence, guys. So keep your eyes out. We'll start to be rolling those out in this coming week so that we can get spun up for May and come out the gate swinging. Also coming soon, summer of 2022, guys, we got the Traders War Room instant messaging platform we're going to be rolling out. You guys asked for a smoother process for alerts because Discord sometimes gets a little overwhelming. We got you guys covered. Keep a lookout for that coming in the summer of 2022. We also got the Traders War Room official merchandise, guys. We got hats, we got shirts, we got mouse, keyboard, pads, we got socks, we got a whole slew of things that are going to come out for you guys so that you can get your TWR swag on and you can raise that proud and let people know who you go to war with. We also got a futures trading bot that's going to be coming out here in the next week. I hope it is up and running for tomorrow, but if not, by the end of this week, we're going to have that futures trading bot, and that thing is going to be fire because futures trading is becoming one of the most popular type of strategies out there, and it's kicking and taking off like wildfire. And don't forget, guys, we got that Traders War Room AI signal bot, guys. I'm telling you, this thing is the terminator of the stocks. And if you guys own a platform or you're a Discord server owner, you need to get at me, man. And if you want this killer fire algorithm bot on your server, get at me and we can make that happen, all right? And team, with that said, man, that's the video, guys. I hope you guys got some worth and some value out of this video. I hope you guys are ready to go to war come the bell ringing on Monday. And guys, remember, at Traders War Room, we look at the stock market like a war zone. Stocks and sectors are our battle. We do it together as a team. Attack, conquer, destroy, and we're always going to war. If that sounds good and you're ready to rock it with me, then all I got to say to you is follow me and let's go to war together.